Flannel shirts, grunge music.
No! The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
I have been spending way too much time on Pinterest lately. This is what's for the problem. When I'm done gardening, I'm stuck inside with my houseplants, which no offense to my houseplants, but I just want to be outside again. And I'm looking at the emptiness that is my yard, and Pinterest is just kind of like my escapism.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But now, poor Brad, he's just like, what are we doing with our yard next year? And I have all of these plans. Like I want to do like a raised garden bed in like this really nice looking shape in the corner of our yard. I'm looking at my neighbors and I'm like, I don't want to look at my neighbors, so I need a tree. like I have
Very
all of these. There's Colin bringing in cucamelons and tomatoes and being an awesome dude in the garden. And here's me being like, I didn't grow anything other than a human. Which, yes. Okay. I understand.
I think that wins. Like
it 100% wins. But I also like have the itch to garden because I feel like I kind of missed out this year. One of the cool things that I found online was this post by Greenhouse Canada. It was the National Garden Bureau's 2026 Year of Plants.
Ooh.
All of the plants that are in the world, right? It's hard to decide on what you want to do. So I always look for inspiration on like, what are other people planting?
Yeah.
Or can somebody help to kind of narrow down my choices? They've chosen an annual and an edible, perennial, bulb, shrub, and houseplant.
Nice.
And it's sort of like your opportunity to learn more about this spotlight plant for each of those categories.
And you know what I like about that? Pinterest, though, seems like one of those where it's real easy to fall into the wormhole. And you go for a little bit of inspiration and then it's almost like death by choice. You have too much inspiration.
Totally. And also the one thing that I wish Pinterest did more of was more like, hey, I am in zone 3. Can you just filter it down to just zone 3 so I don't think that I can grow like a Boston fern out of the ground?
Like, oh, I want to grow this tomato. And you look at it and they're like, well, in February, you want to plant your seed. You're like, okay, done with this one.
Totally.
But that's why I like that they picked. This kind of eases you in. I like that.
It's kind of more of that intentional gardening that we were talking about a little while ago. If you there's only one annual they've chosen for 2026, but you get a chance to learn about that one annual and it kind of compartmentalizes things a little bit more, right? So for 2025, they had milkweed. Right?
We were just talking about that.
Like, I wonder if adding that plant to the list helped people learn more about that plant, and then they planted that plant, and that's why we have more butterflies.
1% of the population of North America. It's a hell of a lot of people.
It is, yeah. I mean, they also had caladium, calendula, dogwood, monstera, and the pea.
I like that, though, because they're not going like overly extravagant. They're mentioning targets that are really easy to hit.
Yeah.
And lots of varieties and lots of...
exactly. Okay, so let's go into the 2026 year. If you are planning your garden for next year, maybe you want to include some of these. So for the annual, it is the impatient. We love the impatient.
I do. I love it.
I think it's so overlooked, isn't it?
It's one of those that I think a lot of people are like, oh, impatient. But you have a shade area. Oh my God. New Guinea impatiens, regular impatiens, tuberous and waxleaf begonias.
Lots of color combinations that you can do. Apparently really love water.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, they're a very hard plant to press. They're almost like a succulent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're almost like they're not, but they're almost like a succulent. Like you break the stem and there's liquid dripping out of it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cutting back deadheading is going to be really important with impatiens. Is it pretty easy?
It's aesthetic. You really don't have to.
Okay. Beginner plant though, right?
Yeah,
like pretty
100%.
Easy to take care of?
100%. The only thing, not full sun. They're one of those plants that when the flower dies, it just kind of goes icky.
Yeah.
But other flowers keep coming up. So if you don't deadhead it, it'll still keep blooming.
Okay. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we had our listener question. I think it was from Katie or something like that. But we're talking about seed harvesting.
Yep.
would that be something where you can start from seed, or is that something where you should probably maybe buy it?
I haven't done it, but I know somebody who did. Impatiens, geraniums, marigolds are all ones that she gathered every year and started.
Okay.
But 100% the impatiens she did. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a beginner like me, I'd probably just go and buy it because there's quite a bit of a selection in the garden centers.
I'd buy it, but you know what? At the end of the year, you got nothing to lose by trying to grow them because you stick them in your soil, in your house, in your seed tray in March, and you go, well, I totally messed that up. It's not like you're not going to be able to get them.
Mm-hmm. True enough.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to our edible is the hot pepper. Funny how just 2 weeks ago we did a hot pepper challenge that burned my face off.
We were just talking about milkweed. They got milkweed, hot pepper. That burned my face. Yeah, that was not pleasant.
Oh my gosh. But hey, we were talking about seed harvesting with that. That's really easy to do as well. Hot peppers are kind of interesting. There's a lot of different kinds. There's that whole Scoville level that you can look into and try. You can make your own hot sauce with hot peppers. I was really interested when we did the lemon pepper, citrusy style. You could add it to salsas. Like there's so much that you can do with peppers, and they don't always have to be hot. I mean, they specified hot pepper, but you could do a bell pepper.
And hot pepper is a full spectrum. Some people say the jalapeno's hot.
Yeah.
Everybody says the Reaper. Anybody who's like, oh, Colin, the Reaper isn't hot, they're a liar. But it's a spectrum. And what one person finds unbearable, another person finds flavorful.
So explore the hot pepper a little bit more. They're pretty easy. I think the main thing about the hot peppers is that they love the sun.
Heat and sun. If you have a heat sink in your yard, that's where you want to put them, or in a greenhouse.
Yeah, like I stuck mine on my deck, direct sun, light was bouncing off of the house and into the plant. Lots of heat throughout the entire summer, and we got a lot of jalapenos.
Yeah, it would love it. Yeah,
you could grow ghost pepper. You could grow, oh my gosh,
scorpion.
Oh, scorpion. That sounds good. I know,
insanely hot. Habanero, Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, and you can grow them in a pot.
Yep.
So if you are on a balcony, say, and that's all of the space you have, you can grow them there.
I know. There's, like you said, on your balcony. I know there's people in Calgary that will only grow their peppers in pots because of our cold rain and hail. Easier to cover, easier to bring indoors.
Okay, very smart. Very smart.
So I grow mine in the garden. They do fine.
Yeah.
But I have a heat sink. Mm-hmm. So I've grown peppers outside of that heat sink.
Yep.
Tried to. It did okay, but it didn't really produce. I put them in the heat sink, and it's just pepper after pepper.
Yeah,
it doesn't
totally.
stop.
Yeah. So obviously we know that you can buy hot peppers in the garden center, but you can also start them from seed.
Yep.
So most of the times you want to, maybe if you're planning your garden for 2026, you will want to keep that in mind if you're starting from seed. 2 months before.
Start them when you start your tomatoes.
Yeah. And
start them like your tomatoes. So the one thing about growing, peppers are not hard to grow from seed.
Yeah.
You're really, really going to want to invest in a heat mat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for the longest time, years and years ago, couldn't grow hot peppers from seed. Didn't know what I was doing wrong.
Okay.
Somebody turned me on to heat mat, and my success went from 10% germination rate to 90%.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did nothing else different.
Also, can we talk about stagger growth? Because this is something you talked about earlier this year that I loved.
Peppers, I wouldn't worry as much about. Like I must have harvested peppers this year 4 times.
Wow.
But tomatoes, I do stagger because tomatoes tend to go all or nothing.
Okay. Got it.
So tomatoes, I stagger. Peppers, get them in the ground.
A little more forgiving.
Yeah.
And then also equipment that you'll need, because you also want to keep in mind a cage.
A big glass of milk.
No.
A pepper cage, absolutely. You'll need that. Fertilizer.
Specific to hot peppers?
Tomato fertilizer.
Okay, great.
Tomato, if you don't have that, any all-purpose.
Okay.
But they're a high-production plant, so they will need extra food.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on to perennials. Sedum.
One of my favorites.
Sedum is so versatile.
Yeah, I
remember we had sedum turf.
Yep.
So you can do it as a perennial in your garden bed, but if you're looking for a lawn alternative, that might even be something you want to look into too.
I love the Autumn Joy sedum. They kind of go like this weird burgundy.
Yeah.
And the bees, covered in bees.
Oh, cool.
Covered in bees. They love them as a late season pollinator. And the funny thing is that all through the year, they kind of look like nothing, just kind of some weird succulent growing. And then they put out, you're like, oh, is that broccoli? And then bam, beautiful fall flower.
Oh, yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know what a sedum is, you were just talking about how it kind of looks like a broccoli. Totally. Fleshy leaves, drought tolerant, and star-shaped flowers that will bloom later in the season. It's a low maintenance plant. So if you're looking for I'm totally pick me. Low maintenance. Love it. And like you said, beneficial for pollinators like bees and butterflies, and they come in a variety of colors.
The only thing, and this is a shout out mainly for Calgary, because they are drought tolerant. They're almost like a succulent. They hold a lot of water. Yeah. They are not a fan of the frost. Oh. So if there's a frost warning, get a blanket on it. It won't kill the plant. Yeah. The plant will come back next year. It won't bloom.
Oh.
I've seen that happen before.
So you cover it for the winter, not just for...
No. Cover it. So they may not actually start their bloom until September.
Oh, I understand.
We can get a frost in September. So you're growing this plant all year. It's done nothing. It's just this green, fleshy, succulent looking thing. It starts putting out its flower. We get an early frost and you're like, see you next year, buddy.
Yeah.
You got nothing out of it. So any frost, get it covered until it's done blooming and then just let it die back.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me to clarify.
I do also want to touch, I know that some growing zones, this might be easier to do than others, but would these be easy to grow from seed, or should you do more of a plant, like an established?
I would do established. I've never heard of anybody growing sedum from seed. So even the sedum turf is all done from cuttings. So you can cut sedum turf with a lawnmower.
I love that.
And
so cool.
I know, and it looks like if you step on it, it should die.
Yeah.
Our friend Nathan, he was telling me that after you've cut it, just leave it. And all of the cuttings propagate. And I'm like, well, that goes against everything I know about like how a plant propagates. It needs to go into soil and moisture. And he's like, no. So anyway, I've got some sedum in my front yard from Nathan. And Jenny and I were working and I was like, hey, watch this. And I took a piece and I cut it and I literally took my finger and just went in the soil, like maybe just a divot, not even a dent. Put it in, squished it and put some soil over it. And it turned into a full plant.
Wow.
Didn't get any extra water, no extra babying, nothing. And Jenny was like, oh my God, that's... And I'm talking within like a week, 2 weeks that it established.
Oh, cool.
You know, you want a sedum lawn. It can be very expensive to buy it all at one time. Do small areas, and as it grows, and it grows pretty fast, keep cutting it and spreading it.
I love that.
Spread it.
Can it also be used as sort of like a weed deterrent because you are covering it, you are using it as a ground cover?
Yeah, and it's fantastic for pollinators.
Yeah.
So it's win all over the place. Yeah.
Full sun. Yeah, full sun. Yeah. Love sedum.
It can take a little bit of shade. Tends to lose some of its fun color and doesn't bloom as much, and it can go a little patchy. Yeah. But full sun. And it's amazing.
So cool. Okay, moving into bulbs, the crocus. So the crocus is one that you will want to plant in the fall. So your garden centers may or may not have any still because it's kind of late.
I think we're sold out now.
But if you, by chance, got a crocus bulb, 2076 is your year.
We got crocus bulbs, Jenny and I.
Okay, so see, you won the lottery and you'll get crocus for 2026.
Do you know what I love about crocus? They're one of the earliest to come up because they're so small. You plant them very close. And they're way tougher than they look. They look like this little fragile, delicate flower. Yeah. But often, if you Google, crocus in the snow. Yeah. You'll see snow around them because you got a fresh snowfall. And that little flower is like, I'm doing good. And I love seeing hardy little flowers like that in inclement conditions because it's like these two should not be together. Yeah. But it works.
100%. Yeah. And like the most... perfect way to ring in spring, hey? Like if you're kind of getting tired of snow and that's why I love planting bulbs in the fall, because then when you're just sick and tired and you're just itching, then you get a little bit of something to look forward to, right?
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to shrubs. Azalea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this is an interesting one because you can find azalea in the houseplant department, at least here in Calgary, but you can also find some azalea shrubs in the trees and shrubs department. Let's talk about this a little bit. So the azalea shrub is a sun-loving shrub and it flowers.
Some like the shade too.
Oh, gosh. So up until now, everything's been kind of beginner. The azalea, nope.
No, the azalea is azaleas. Frequently go hand in hand with rhododendrons.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So they're a similar like plant. Yeah. I love azaleas.
They're like showstoppers. Yeah. You know, so many, like if you're looking for something that provides a lot of blooms, like that's it. If I was a bee in a garden, be hard to miss that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I really love how you can find them like usually in like different shades of pinks.
Yep.
So if you have sort of a pink motif in your yard, that's something. Do you need things like, this is more of like a perennial shrub, so you don't really need things like a cage or anything like that.
But they like moisture and they like an acidic soil.
Oh, how do you make your soil acidic?
Peat moss.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is a good one to use. There's other amendments you can put into your soil.
Yeah.
But they like a slightly more acidic soil. So they're kind of like in the blueberry family. Rhododendrons like acidity.
Yeah.
And then other than that, they really are relatively low maintenance. Like you'll see azaleas growing in the English countryside. So I've always, my dad, one of his favorite shrubs was azaleas.
Yeah. And alternatively, if you're not ready to have an azalea shrub, you can still appreciate the azalea in the houseplant department. And it's so cool because they look like bonsais. Like they're just like these little mini trees. And you can find some that are like braided. They're really popular around Valentine's Day. So if you're like not wanting one right now, but maybe you want to celebrate it in 2026, look for them in your local garden center.
They were our big seller this year when we did Earth Week at the Caw. You never know what's going to trend for whatever reason.
Sure.
And Jeanette had a lot of azaleas in, and we'd asked for some flowering plants, and they sent them. Every single day, the azalea table was the most picked over one. Azaleas, and the other one that did really good was cyclamens. Like, what are you going to say about it?
I mean, they're really interesting flowers, but you're right. Like, they're not particularly fragrant.
One guy picked one up. It's on his phone. It was lunchtime. He's busy. And he was like, can you help me? And I was like, yeah. And he was talking to his significant other.
Sure.
And then the call swapped to video. So he was having to show them the table. So he bought an azalea and he left. And then he came back a few hours later and he's like, apparently I need a second azalea.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't have the same color.
No.
And I was like, look, I will bring you one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I will. And we brought him one the next day and he came back to see us. But yeah, he got one. I guess they loved it so much. His significant other was like, go, because he even says like, this isn't for me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got sent for a second one.
Yeah.
But,
I find azaleas a really popular gift.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's why they're around at Valentine's Day, because there's like lots of flowers, popular gift.
And in the right color scheme, pinks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're in the pink red spectrum. So.
Well, let's move on to the last one, which is a houseplant. For 2026, it's the ficus.
Oh, nice.
Do you know how broad ficus is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Like you could do so much with ficus. So if you don't have a ficus in your yard you can't have, well, in some areas you can have ficus in your yard.
Yeah, whatever.
But looking
at you, Vancouver Island.
But like, so what? The fiddly fig?
Yep.
Ficus audrey. There's like different styles of leaves in the ficus.
Well, and also when we were talking Mental Health Month, don't forget that the ficus, the fig, was included as one of the most popular ones.
The fig, yes.
And so fun fact is that in Montreal, Toronto, call it the Ottawa Valley, there are people, and I've done it before, that grow figs in their yard, but they won't live through the winter. And it's a pain in the butt and it's dirty, but it does work. They'll harvest the fruit off them. But what you have to do in the fall is you have to dig them up, dig a trench, lie them in the trench, cover them with mulch, let them make it through the winter. Then in the spring, stand them up, plant them again, stake them so they don't fall over and let them grow all over again. Once it's mature enough and you've done that enough, people literally will harvest the figs for their breakfast off their own trees.
Okay, question. If you were still a landscaper, and somebody asked you to do that, would you respectfully decline?
The thing is, I would tell most people, like, yes, we can do it.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put this to lie it down? Because some of these trees are 7 or 8 foot tall, and I have to dig a trench 7 or 8 foot, this wide and this deep, to put it in. Every single year, you're basically transplanting this plant.
Oh, so shock every year.
Every year you're shocking it. So it never will develop into a full tree. They're relatively hardy.
Yep.
It can be done. We did it for a client. She lived in Pointe Claire, which means nothing to a lot of people, but it's an area of Montreal. But she had 4 raised planters that had her tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers. Once they were done, that's where we'd put each one in a planter and cover it. And then in the spring, we'd set them up.
Wow.
Anything that constantly has to be dug up and put down always runs a risk of dying or struggling. So I tend to not recommend it, but if you're absolutely in love with it and you understand the risk behind it.
That's an option.
Yep.
Okay. But if you're a houseplant person, there are over 800 species of ficus plants.
Are you serious?
I mean, so you go into the garden center, you're not going to find 800.
Yeah.
But you're going to probably find maybe 20.
Yeah,
different types of ficus.
I would have said, and I thought this was a lot. If you'd asked me how many different types there were, I would have said a couple of hundred.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
I mean, they are found in regions across Asia, Africa, South America, and Australia. It's so diverse. So kind of an interesting plant group to dive into for 2026. Yeah. Maybe if you're going to add another, houseplant to your collection, then maybe look at a ficus. But that is it for the 2026
I love that
plants.
list. It's not what I was expecting at all.
I love how it's more general and just more open because I don't like when gardening tries to pigeonhole you and be like, I mean, not that it would. I mean, you could see that list and just be like, I'm not going to listen to your list. But this is sort of inspiring.
They don't do flash in the pan. They went with impatience. Yeah. Patience has been around forever. My mum used to plant them in England.
Exactly. And don't you find that some plants you're like, some people will choose not to grow plants because it's like, well, that's like my parents grew that. So I don't want to grow that. I want something cool. But I find that a lot of those plants need that little extra oomph so that you can rediscover them and see how cool they are.
Everything old becomes new again.
Yeah.
There's a company who do custom vehicles and I follow them on Instagram. Mm-hmm. One of the features they do in their truck, it has an old school window crank. Wow. But it's an automatic window. You just push it forward and the window rolls down. You pull it back and the window rolls up. But it looks like an old school crank.
Cool.
They made it retro. The stereo has a tape deck.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
It doesn't work, but it has a tape deck.
You know what I just thought about? If you're planning your garden for 2026, what if you're like, I'm going to do a 90s styled garden?
Yeah. Flannel shirts, grunge music.
No.
I mean,
90s garden favorites. Bold, vibrant, flowering plants.
So one of the things, because as somebody who landscaped in the 90s, you go look at planters at stores or at people's houses, and they tend to be very symmetrical and very color themed and almost minimalistic. Mm-hmm. And then you look at mine and there's every color under the sun and it's jammed. That was the trend I learned.
Okay.
And I love it, but I find other people don't do their planters like mine.
No.
Very few people. And a lot of people go, wow, I love your planter. And then they go and plant their own. And it's like, oh, to each their own. If it makes you happy, that's cool. But absolutely, I remember buying annuals for clients. And they were just like color.
Yeah. So cosmos, zinnias, sunflowers, canna lilies. Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting approach. Hey, maybe you can do something with that and also the 2026 plants. But I'm going to throw all of these onto our show notes. So go to goldenacre.ca/podcast. And under show notes, you'll see this post and it'll have the list of everything and maybe some suggestions if you're looking to kind of narrow things down within the specific hot pepper realm. I'll give some options down below. So until next week.
Enjoy, everyone.
Happy planning.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the helpful gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!